Good afternoon. I want to discuss uh, for this week's discussion board, a favorite topic of mine related to Georgia's 19th century antebellum period. A most influential character named Thomas Reed Roots Cobb. I've done a lot of studying on Cobb. There's not a whole lot of sources out there, but I did some of my master's work on the topic, and he became a favorite figure of mine just because of his political, social, and economic influence on Georgia's uh, culture during that late antebellum period. Cobb was born into a most influential family in 1823 in Jefferson County, Georgia, and he became a most influential political and social figure in Georgia throughout the 19th century. He held various positions in the political arena within Georgia prior to the Civil War, and he was a leading advocate for Georgia's secession from the Union in 1861. The first source that I want to talk with you about is entitled A Historical Sketch of Slavery from Its Earliest Periods. And this is actually written by Cobb himself in 1860. The source is a sketch of slavery from its earliest periods to the antebellum period, which would have been the time that he lived in. Um, Cobb uses his writing to justify the need and the continuation for slavery in the South by outlining the political, social, and economic necessity for slavery. Within it, he says that there must be a laboring class to execute the plans devised by the wiser heads, to till the ground and to perform the menial offices necessarily connected to social life. This is one of his biggest driving points in the source that leads him to feel the need for secession from the Union in 1861. The communal thought within this source, devised by Cobb himself, spread throughout the South, leading much of the population to rally behind men such as himself for secession from the Union. The second source I want to discuss with you is entitled The Military Career of Thomas R. Cobb, or Thomas Reed Roots Cobb. This is written by Tom Watson Brown in 1961. So a lot of these sources, while um, they've not been written within the last 15, 20 years, they are vital to understanding why Cobb was so influential in Georgia politics and the social life during that late antebellum period. Within this source, his military career is explored. So not only was he a prominent politician, but later he turned his attention towards the military. Cobb thought that he needed to go beyond politics to make a difference in promoting secession. So he worked to create a legion known as the Georgia Battalion that would prove vital in leading Georgia's fighting in the war. Um, Brown discusses how Cobb assumed command of his legion, which was a cumbersome unit composed of infantry, cavalry, and artillery detachments from Georgia. Um, Cobb's Legion, or sometimes known as the Georgia Battalion, would go on to join forces under General John B. Magruder to challenge Major General George B. McClellan's invasion of the peninsula en route to Richmond. To me, this source is vital in proving that not only was Cobb instrumental in Southern politics leading up to the Civil War in encouraging secession, but he also put his words into action by raising a legion and fighting for the Southern cause. And the last source that I want to discuss with you is entitled Private James R. Barrow and Company B, Cobb's Legion Infantry, and this is written by Hugh W. Barrow. This is a later source that was composed in 2013, so there has been updated research done surrounding T.R.R. Cobb, especially in the area of Cobb's Legion or the Georgia Battalion. This source is an excellent insight into the life of a soldier in Cobb's Legion. This is one of the only sources that I could find when doing my research that specifically focuses on that soldier's life. Barrow traces out the life of James Barrow, an infantryman who served under Cobb and General Magruder in the Peninsula Campaign. It gives a first-hand account of what the actions during the 7 Days campaign looked like around Richmond, especially at Malvern Hill. Um, Generally, like I said, it's rare to find complete sources giving glimpses into the life of a soldier, specifically in Georgia's battalion. But Barrow's book is a terrific example of an actionable source that traces that life of a soldier. Um, I hope this is of interest to you. It has been to me, and I look forward to continuing studying beside you as we continue in History 701. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.